So pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12th, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the Open Meeting Law GL 30A18 and the Governor's March 15th, 2020 order imposing strict limitation on the number of people that may gather in one place, this meeting of the Hubbardston Board of Library Trustees will be conducted via remote participation to the greatest extent possible. Specific information and the general guidelines for remote participation by members of the public and/or parties with a right and/or requirement to attend this meeting can be found on the town website. No in-person attendance of members of the public will be permitted, but every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceedings in real time via Zoom. In the event that we are unable to do so despite best efforts, we will post on the town's website a comprehensive record of proceedings as soon as possible after the meeting. So I'm going to call the meeting to order at 7:05 p.m. on Thursday night, May 6, 2021. Okay. And I just want to check in with Tom because he's on the agenda tonight. And let me see, there he is. Let them in. Give me one sec. So I'm letting in Tom and Morgan. Morgan, are you there? Not yet. Oh, okay, good. Yes, I can see you and I can hear you. Tom, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Perfect. Okay. So we just called the meeting to order.
I heard all that. I just
Okay, good.
couldn't figure it out.
Okay, good. Yeah, it takes me a second because I have to go back to the panel. And anyway, yeah, let's start the meeting. So did everyone get the chance to read over the library director's report that Chris sent separately? Okay. So any discussions on anything in the library report?
Isn't going to join us. Do we need to read it, or is it good enough that we just accept it?
No, well, let's review. I have it up here. You know what? Let me share my screen with you and we can look it over. I think one of the important things in there was the date for the book sale or for the townwide yard sale was in there. So let me, I have a lot of stuff open here. So let me get to the right, the director's report. Here it is. Okay, let's see if I can share my screen with you all. All panelists. I think this is the right one. Is that the right one? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, here it is. Let's just, anyone want to quickly read over it or it's probably okay for us to just read it through.
I have it on another screen and I don't mind reading it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Go for it.
Director's report, May 6, 2021. Curbside pickup numbers 15, patrons 111. Facebook totals of views in April 151. In March there were 155. Going back to February 99, in January 81, December 56, 80, November 87. Post reach in April there were 300. In March there were 1,370. February 355. January 553. December 531. November 446. Total page likes in April, 654, in March, 651, February, 640, January, 639, December, 637, November, 634. So it's maintained. Page followers in April, there were 717, which is consistent. March had 710. February, there were 699. In January, similarly, 698. December, 696. And in November, 691. The most popular posts were a quote by Neil Gaiman, and second that books are insanely cool meme. There were 104 that liked it. Wi-Fi connections made in April, there were 51, which is an increase from March of 20. We had 28 connections. In February, there were 29 connections. In January, there were 46. Our monthly display for April were our hiking books. This was a great suggestion by Krista, and this collection has been checked out a lot this past month. I will check in again with David Nixon about Zoom license for the library. Gabby will be reducing her hours as she has a new job. She will continue to work one Saturday a month. Our backup assistant librarian, Tony, will be picking up Gabby's hours, so there will be no interruption of service. Our storytime person, Miss Michelle, will be suspending storytime until September. And I will see if any town employees are interested in reading again this summer. I am planning our May display and will coincide with Asian Pacific Islanders Month in mid-month to include Memorial Day books. The library book sale will be held on Saturday, June 26th, which is on the weekend of the townwide yard sale. I have 4 people who are interested in helping us. The quarantine of materials is being eliminated by the state, and I am hoping to expand our open hours with the hope that we will be back to our regular hours by July, August at the latest. Respectfully submitted by Christine Barbera. I would add one edit, and maybe Krista can confirm, but I believe that they also did a display of Mother's Day books.
Yeah, I think I saw that on that's this month. I think I saw that on the Facebook.
Yeah.
April was poetry month, so she did have some poetry, but it didn't make for the most interesting display. So the hiking books were there too.
I'm one of the patrons that took out the hiking books, and we've already used it, so
Me too.
I love that display.
Morgan, thank you so much for reading that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And I think there is a typo in there, but I'm pretty sure that should be reading town employee.
Mhm. Okay. So I think the only point of discussion that might be important is the book sale yard sale on townwide yard sale day. I know we had already started the discussion, just out of curiosity, who can be there on June 26th? I mean,
I can be there.
you can be there.
It's my plan to be there.
Just, Morgan. I'll be there.
Did we lose
Did we lose who?
Connie.
Connie. Connie, are you there? I guess she'll come back.
and
So-
Joanne?
Let me see.
I had tried to log in, and then I was in a waiting room, and then like my computer froze, and then I had to try it again.
Okay.
So I don't know if she's having similar.
Do you think
I
that's
haven't
related to the Zoom or to our own Wi-Fi connections? What?
I don't know. Zoom was kind of clunky for us, I will say. I had other Zoom meetings today, but I thought maybe it's Hubbardston, my internet today.
Okay, so will one of you please keep an eye on, oh, here she is, she's back. Okay, let me let her back in. So it might be this game today of paying attention to attendees and letting them back in. Okay.
Okay. And Joanna, not sure if she's going to be there available, but she would like to be.
Okay, all right, so far I have Krista, Morgan, myself, Johanna, question mark.
Chris and volunteers as well.
Morgan, can
counting
you
us.
repeat that? It went kind of robotic for a second.
Chris also has 4 other volunteers as well. I don't have names.
So what we don't know is whether the volunteers are for like setup, which happens before the book sale day, the week of the book sale, or hopefully they'll be both volunteering to help set up and volunteering to sell. And usually the trustees, myself and Connie, have usually gone in and helped set up. But in the past few book sales setups, Chris has been so good with her like support and staff getting it set up that Connie and I have not had much to do. Connie, do you remember and do you have anything to add to that? I don't know. Are you still there?
I am sorry about that.
Your connection is so poor.
Um,
Okay, there you are. Go ahead, Connie.
Or maybe type it into the chat.
Yeah, type into the chat.
Connie, okay.
Okay. All right. So it sounds like, if 4 of us, that's Chris, and 4 volunteers can be there, that it can go well. Maybe we can talk about how to staff it, so we're not all there the entire time, which isn't necessary unless someone wants to be there the entire time. So let's talk to Chris and like schedule it with her. How's that? We'll schedule that.
Sounds good.
Okay, so let's,
I just want to let you know, I have been organizing the books, so I don't know if that'll help with the setup, but it might
oh, yeah, that's
make
great.
them move fast.
Okay. That's great. Thank you for doing that. Okay. We'll pull the agenda back up. I lost it. So I think now, okay, next on the agenda would be approving the March and the April minutes. So
And I'm sorry,
everyone-
Josephine,
Yes,
she
yes.
also has on here about maybe expanding the open hours. I don't know if that would go on the agenda for the next meeting, or I don't know whether we need to weigh in on it.
I mean, I feel like that's a Chris.
Okay,
Chris's.
that's fine. I'm fine with that. I just
Yeah.
wanted to ask.
I completely missed that. I don't even remember hearing that or seeing that. But I think we can talk about it with Chris, and it's kind of her and her staff can figure that
Sure.
out, as long as we're meeting the MBLC requirements for our hours. And as of now, we are above and beyond the
Okay.
MBLC hours. So let's see. I love it when books at a library sale are organized. Oh. Okay. Sorry.
So the last line of the director minutes, I'm hoping to expand our open hours with the hope that we will be back to our regular full hours by July, August at the latest.
Yeah.
So being back by expansion would be back to pre-COVID quarantine full hours.
Right, nothing different, just
Yeah.
restoring those. Okay.
And I think that's based on the state and the MBLC. So Chris is just following those guidelines. So that will be good. That will be good. A good thing, because I've gone by and it's been closed and I can't get my books.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, let's just keep moving forward. Okay. The March minutes and the April minutes are what we have to approve. So I'm curious, has everyone been able to read and look through the March 2021 minutes?
I had gone through
Mhm.
and I feel like I'm very unprepared, but I had a question. I think it went back to the March minutes.
Okay.
I'm just trying to bring that up real quick.
Okay. You can bring those up and share it if you need to. Did anyone else, while we're waiting for Morgan, have anything they wanted to add about the March minutes? Anything they want to mention? Tom, did you want to speak? I see you in my as my person, in the big screen. No.
Whoa. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Can you hear us?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
All set.
Okay. If anyone wants to speak, just speak, because I don't know, I feel like Zoom is being a little weird tonight. And usually the speaker is in the window, and that's not happening right now for me. So just go ahead and talk if you need to talk.
I came up with my March question based on the
Okay.
March minutes. It just was with our actual agenda is that we had a scholarship, and the scholarship was actually attached. I see that with Chris's director's notes. I didn't see any other scholarships though.
I saw, so there was only one. Well, let's review the March minutes, and then we'll go to the April, and then we'll go to the
I
scholarship.
want to make clarification and just check because I didn't see it on our agenda this for tonight, but I thought that tonight's meeting, are we
Yeah,
reviewing
I have review scholarship applicants, utilize.
on the third bullet?
You scared me. Okay.
You do.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
right.
So yeah, so we'll do that next after the March minutes. So let's just approve, if no one has any questions about March, let's create the motion and vote, okay? Okay, go ahead. Who wants to do that? You know, I don't like doing that. March
I-
minute.
Chris is making a motion for the March and I'm seconding it.
Okay, let's vote. Krista,
You're on mute, but you're nodding your head yes.
okay.
Sorry, yes.
Morgan,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes,
Johanna, you'll have to put it in the chat. And we'll see what she says. Connie,
Connie says yes.
okay, and myself,
Johanna
Josephine.
says yes.
Yes. Okay, Johanna said yes, it's unanimous. We can accept the March minutes. And April, did everyone get a chance to review the April minutes? Okay, so let's do the same. Krista,
Yes,
okay, Morgan,
Yes.
Tom,
yes,
Johanna, put it in the chat. Please, Connie. I can't hear Connie, can you guys?
Connie chatted.
Connie
did-
chatted yes.
Say yes, okay, and myself, Josephine Amato, yes, okay, so we accept the April 2021 minutes, okay. The scholarship, there was only one, did you all get a chance to review it? I was not able to review it because it's my child's scholarship application. Also, she doesn't want me to read her application, which makes sense, her essay, so how should I handle this? You all have the rubric, you have the scholarship. Do you want to discuss it? And should I step out? Like, well, I don't know how to handle this.
I don't think you have to step out.
Okay, I'm here.
What you're doing is, what do they call it?
facilitating.
I'm going to abstain or from reading the scholarship or being involved in the scholarship application decision.
You're going to recuse yourself from the vote.
Thank you. I recuse myself from the vote. Okay. So you guys should have the rubric and you should have the, open up the discussion.
I will make note that while I would have appreciated, and we were discussing in general, I would have appreciated a pool of applicants. I was a little overwhelmed by last year's pool. And there was a challenge last year of narrowing it down. I'm grateful that we have one. And we had a outside of library trustee discussion just personally with regards to the future of colleges and things like that, and are curious if seniors this year are hesitant to apply. And if numbers in general seem, spring enrollment and last fall's enrollment for college was one of the lowest enrollments. And even after kids enrolled, they dropped out at a much higher rate.
Mm-hmm. That's
So
yeah.
I will say I'm extremely grateful that we did receive an applicant. And I don't know that it necessarily that we need to go through the process of the full rubric, because I feel as if it was a very well put through applicant. And I would like to honor the fact that we received an applicant. So that's how I feel. Country Hen has extended their deadline.
Yeah,
Yes.
till 10th, May 10th.
Yeah.
So you know what I will add is, I got it to all the schools and got messages back from all of the guidance counselors that they had received the application. And I even had a Pinecrest kid here who's graduating reach out to me to say, hey, did you send that specifically to my school for me? And I said, yes, and she didn't put in an application. So yeah. Maybe
Yeah.
next.
Now,
We
Do
could
we
offer
want to-
more next year, maybe.
Do we want to extend it?
one consideration that I would have, I would like to possibly extend an offer, and we could hold this applicant, or we could honor the one that submitted by the deadline and continue to extend and have an open open deadline and push it even through the end of June, through the end of graduation.
What,
Do you mean make the award for the applicant in hand and then extend it in the hopes that we'd get a second one?
Correct.
Okay, I'm for that.
That's one discussion item, yeah.
so the high school goes through June?
Yes.
Does it really?
Seniors graduate May 28th. No,
Yeah.
sorry. Seniors end school May 28th. They graduate June 4th at Quabbin. I don't know about the
Yeah,
others.
that's next week or something.
Yeah.
isn't it?
That's next week.
Oh, no, it's not.
A
next
few
week.
couple of weeks.
I'm like, man, didn't we just start it in May? It's June. What?
Can you believe it?
If we
Yes, I can.
extended, do we have time to get the word out to people that it's extended?
I mean,
I
My-
support what you suggested, Morgan. I'm just wondering about whether extending it makes sense.
Well, one of my thought process is that it may allow graduating seniors and or where this is for anybody entering post-secondary education, it may allow them more time to make plans and to consider what their plans are. And it may take the load off if they're just trying to get through the remainder of this year. So that is a consideration.
So
there's a
Connie
message
said,
here from Connie. Go ahead.
Oh, we're going to read it. I'm sorry.
So
Okay.
Connie is saying, I don't think that we should penalize the applicant who submitted on time by making them wait, and I'd advocate for extending this one. So, yeah, if we allow the second applicant and second scholarship available and say that Hubbardston Public Library has one remaining scholarship, so that the expectation is there that it's one spot,
Mhm.
and for one applicant scholarship award, then I just think it's a matter of how long do we extend it. And I'm open to extending it through the end of June so that we meet at July and they have the funds over the summer, or potentially even through July. So it gives them summer. If somebody applies summer to enroll at a local community college, there are some applicants being accepted even through the summer.
I'd like to make a motion. We make an award of the scholarship to the applicant that we have received the application from. And we extend the scholarship application period to June 30th. And we make an effort to communicate to each one of the, I think there were 5 schools, and just simply write them a note and say it's extended to June 30th.
Yeah, I second that motion.
Josephine's not allowed to participate, so I'm going to say, please throw your hands for the vote. I vote yay.
I approve.
So
I'm
Connie
so
said
sorry,
yes
but-
also.
And Johanna's saying, can we make that motion more succinct? Because
how about if we break that down? So why don't we make one motion to proceed in awarding the applicant who submitted a complete applicant in the time requested by our current deadline. I present that motion. Anybody second that?
I'll second it, but I'd like to take Joanna up on the use of the word distinct.
Okay.
She's used that on me several times. And this is a joke. All right. The motion is to award what?
To award our current applicant who submitted an application by our current deadline, and make that award provided.
I second it, and if Joanna can write it down, let's vote on it and make that award.
Can you
Yes.
fix my words like autocorrect for the minutes?
They don't have a auto make sense. They just have auto spell correct.
what's going on here tonight?
All right.
Can we vote yes to make the award to the applicant we have?
Yes.
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 Got Krista in the.
Connie
box.
said yes.
Connie, okay.
Second motion, can we extend the applicant period to June 30th?
I second that motion.
Vote yes.
Yes.
Yes. Connie votes yes.
So I'm sorry, I see Connie's response, but did you get Johanna's response?
No.
Joanna, come in by chat.
Yeah. Johanna can, I guess one of you should, since I'm recused, I don't.
Motion to make the award to applicant we have now by Tom, second by Morgan, I guess, right?
Yes.
We're gonna leave
So
the.
Johanna, do you approve?
We'll leave the informing the schools as an administrative function, and we don't need to vote on it.
So I'll just resend to the people that I sent it to before,
That would be great.
and I'll do that
Correct.
June
probably
3rd.
tomorrow.
Passed unanimously.
Yes. Okay,
I will reach out to Chris so that the library website can be updated and handle social media as I can.
perfect. That was easy.
And may we be pleased and have another difficult decision with many applicants for our second award.
Yes. I mean, maybe next year we consider putting it out there earlier or something, like maybe after Christmas or after the holiday season. And then, a lot of applications come out January 1st, or maybe we consider that for next year, and maybe that would get us some more applicants.
Yeah.
A nice long deadline. Okay.
It may also be hopefully the year to where those who used a leap year or
Yeah.
whatever it's called. I don't know.
Gap
The
year.
The gap year.
gap year.
Mhm.
Could someone tell me, do we limit this to people entering college for the first time?
Yes. Yep. And it's only Hubbardston residents. I mean, we might consider something else too, like
We can think about
Quabbin area, or
A question has been posed of how about near the start of the fall semester? One suggestion that I have with regards to that is where we've done this for 2 years is that perhaps in the fall that we announce it to the guidance counselors so that it's in their pocket and they're aware. So when they're letting students know.
Mhm. That's a good suggestion.
Is there some kind of scholarship list that the high schools put out?
Yes.
No, we gotta
There
get
is,
on it.
Quabbin has a list. I don't know about the other schools. And from Johanna, how about near the start of the fall semester? Good idea, Morgan. Sorry, you already read that. I'm watching it move and I thought it was different. Yeah, so we can discuss it again, and we can definitely let the guidance counselors know in the fall. I think that's a great option. The more time we give students, I guess, the better, since they're pretty overwhelmed at this point in the school year. And with all the changes that everyone has had to go through. So yeah, thanks everyone for reviewing the scholarship. So Tom, I want to leave the next one up to you. You have sent so many emails. I feel like I'm missing something in the agenda.
Let me whip through a couple things.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm awaiting the town to give me a permit so that Gagney Well and Pump can dig up and recover the decommissioned well that's on the front lawn.
Mhm.
I'm just inches away from this. I just can't get the permit out of the Board of Health.
Okay.
The second telephone pole that was talked about as being sticking out into the front lawn there, I've worked with the engineers. They call themselves the engineering company, TEC, the guys that did the Main Street, and we've eliminated that pole. And we no longer have an easement on our front lawn, a pole or a pole support or any wires. There'll be one pole just like it is today.
Great job.
We have a letter from, you people all met ML Altabelli.
Mhm.
I put a $2,500 amount before the CPC, and they said they can't fund that because it's not real property. It's not like a door or a air conditioner or something that would go into the library as real property. It's a study, but we have other ways of funding it. And I can I can pick an account, and I promise not to spend the dog fund or the state aid that I consider to be Chris Barbera's accumulated amount that she uses for special things for the library. Leaving that to me to use a library foundation repair fund from 2020 and I'm shuffling some papers here, just a minute. An $8,000 CPC fund thing that I can't find the name of. Just a second. Sorry, can't find it in my paper shuffle here. But we have $18,000, a $10,000 foundation account and an $8,000 something else account. And I will get the money from that if you guys want to do it. She came out and walked around and showed us what she had some for ideas and listened to you guys. And this would be $2,500 to generate a landscape plan that we could put before the school and the town fathers and get approval to do the entire Main Street frontage. And when we put it before the school and we put it before the town, we'd expect them to chip in some money. But we do the seed money, the $2,500 seed money to get it going. Any thoughts on any thoughts on that?
Tom,
Any idea? Any good?
I support it in general, but there's a couple things. One is it's not about the plan, but I think it was the Fairman Fund that could be used for beautification.
Mhm.
So, I mean, that wouldn't pay for the plan, but you know, that money might be available for this. But we talked a lot about a ramp, and I think you had an alternative to the ramp. So I think the proposal that she gave us the proposal for her proposal might have to be modified a little bit based on our walk around. You know, like she wanted the hidden garden or something, which I don't think we really were happy about, and the ramp. So I think we should go for the plan, but we should maybe give her a few parameters, you know, to follow up on.
That's perfect. I agree.
Maybe we
Okay.
could meet with her one more time after we review, like whether we want a ramp or whether we're talking about an elevator. Because that would look, you know, the land would look different depending on what we're choosing. So maybe we're not quite ready yet for her to write up the plan, Tom.
Well, I don't think that, I think the $10,000 library repair fund can be floated into next year.
Okay.
I'm not sure about the $8,000 thing, which I wish I could
I
find.
think that was supposed to be used by the end of this fiscal year, right? Are you remembering that? Is that why you're,
Yeah, that's why I'm a little worried about it.
yeah,
And that was the CPC.
yes.
Is it possible to ask her to present two plans, like one with a ramp and then one with not a ramp?
All right, let me
you know,
remind you,
have two options depending on which way we go.
there's really two ramps. There's a sloped sidewalk in the back
Yeah.
that has to be sloped, not because it's a handicap ramp, but because if you went down it in a wheelchair, it would be so steep that it would get away from you. That's what we'll call, I guess,
The walk,
I
it's
guess
more of
it's
a
a ramp,
walkway.
but- and then there's the giant ugly ramp up the front,
Yeah.
which I really have a hard time with. I really dislike that approach. The elevator thing was just thrown out there. They told me rough estimate between $75,000 and $90,000,
Mhm.
and it serves, as I tried to cartoon it in there, it serves the ground floor offices and the first floor library.
Mhm.
It doesn't go up to the third floor historical room.
Mhm.
That would be a whole different kind of elevator. The cheap elevator, the low cost, the cost effective elevator I found doesn't reach that high. So you can't get a high elevator for that kind of money.
Mhm.
But I would tell her to don't bother to do a front ramp. We're going to seek
That's
an
what I meant,
elevator
yeah.
of some type and just eliminate it from her scope of seeking. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking when I was talking about the ramp, was the front one, not the back one. The back one's obviously important. But one thing she also said that I thought seemed a good idea was to have a barrier between the school and the street. And I'm not sure if that was in her, was that in her write-up? I'm not sure. I guess I could check.
I don't, wait a minute. I think I do have that.
And also Johanna said, whatever we use for ADA does need to be in harmony with our historic status. Oh, you heard her. Okay.
I was,
Sorry.
I was gonna, um,
Well, the elevator was a serendipity thing. I just kind of stumbled on it.
mhm.
I'm sure there's a lot of people that make a lot of different kinds of elevators, and we can find it. I guess it's really not classed as an elevator, and that's why they can do it for low money. It's classed as a lift, and it's a little different, but it is fully ADA compliant and meets the codes of Massachusetts and everything.
Where
I'm
would
sure
that
it's-
go? Where would something like that go?
I made a cartoon and sent it to everybody.
You,
I could, it was gonna go, you know where the handicap parking space is?
yes.
If you walk toward the corner of the building where the downspout, the white downspout pipe is, and then you looked at the first window,
Mhm.
I think it would be the first window. You chop the window bigger and you make it equal to a door. And then you look up and there's a window almost directly above it, about 3-inch offset. And that would be the upper elevation. Josephine,
Yes.
I think, let me find my memo.
So yes, during our walkthrough, ML did mention a fence along the library and the school, uniting them and creating a barrier from the road. And her recommendation is that we got something historic that matched the black one, only without the
spikes.
Finials?
spikes, finials, and other things.
Uh-huh.
But something in a very similar character, uniting both properties.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'd like to get like $2,000 in her hands and get something going before the end of the year, because I'd like to talk to the school before the school gets out, and I'd like to talk to the town fathers. You know, I think we need to move a little quicker than we normally do. And of course, you know, I'm saying this as we approach the end of the year.
I support going ahead with this. I think, you know, she didn't put everything in her letter, but I think Anna pointed out she did talk about that when we met. So I think doing it sooner rather than later is probably a good point.
And then having spoken with her before, she seemed to be very open with us. I don't know if through purchasing the plan, if there's contingency plans or suggestions of, if you don't do a ramp in the front, you could do this instead. Or also be aware, if you do continue to proceed with placing a ramp in the front, it would affect this. I don't know if those considerations could be put into her plan.
Let me
Connie
apologize
suggested that maybe-
and remind remind everyone, the reason she's not here is that she has a conflict meeting the same schedule as us every Thursday, the same Thursday as us, first Thursday. She's in some kind of agricultural thing in Westminster. All right, what do you want to do?
Joanna, the elevator to the side is a solid, good idea.
And Connie was suggesting maybe an alternative with the out, but maybe we just want the front ramp and she can focus on all the other, all the other parts to it.
I think it's an insult to bring a person in a wheelchair to a ramp, and the ramp is, I didn't calculate it, but it's between 60 and 80 feet long.
Mhm.
Yeah.
For every inch up, it's a foot horizontal. And I measured the distance from the dirt to the top step in front of the library, and it's about 62 inches.
Mhm.
So you got 62 feet, and every so many feet, you got to have a 5-foot flat spot. And it's just, you're climbing Mount Everest just to get up there. I think we owe them a motor and a lift.
I would like to go so
Later,
far.
I'm sure would be cheaper than building the ramp.
Well, I think it would be as much of an investment if we're going to go and invest as much into that substantial of a ramp. It would be nice to have in my mind, an elevator, a full elevator that could be utilized probably even by library standards of moving materials in and out of the library, such as when we've had to move books out for the repainting and redoing the floors and things like that. It would have been very handy to have an elevator that you could roll carts onto and boxes of books and move down to the ground level. Even going so far as gain an elevator basement and first floor necessities, but gain it to be able to go up to the top floor would be nice as well. And then it's done
Mhm.
other than maintenance. I think getting a plan is important, and we need to get the town on board as we reasonably can, as soon
As
as
we
soon
reasonably can.
as we can.
So should we make a motion to,
I propose that we make a motion to utilize the CPC funds to fund a plan by ML.
How much, Tom, we need $2,500 of the CPC funds? Okay,
It was 2250, I think.
2250. Okay.
Propose 2250 from the CPC funds to fund a plan.
This is the funds that we have in hand, not the funds that we're going to go forward with.
Correct.
I agree.
Who's
And
seconding?
this plan includes a couple meetings. She comes in and talks to the school and maybe the town fathers. So
Mhm.
that's where some of those hours are.
Yeah.
And this plan excludes the big deal front ramp.
I think the other advantage of it is that her plan does take into consideration school, library, the parking lot for all the town offices, even behind the library, etc., and also addressing a potential lawsuit tree. So, does anybody second?
I'll second.
Let's vote.
That's what I've taken to calling it now.
Krista,
Yes.
Morgan,
Yes.
Tom.
Yes.
I'm not sure we can hear Connie.
Okay.
Can Connie
Yes.
hear us? Yes.
Connie says yes, and Joanna says yes, but she also made a note of getting to the third floor is important. This would get many more people on board with the Historical Society pushing forward as well.
Yeah.
Correct. And I think it would be a great uniting the town services.
Mhm. I vote
I
yes.
hope everybody understands that where the handicap parking spot is and where the parking lot is,
Mhm.
to get to the third floor, you would have to go around the building to the other end. You
Yeah.
can't, that's where the third floor is. The third floor is not over the parking lot end of the building.
Right.
And
That was why
That's the complication.
A long time ago, Tom, remember when we were talking about putting in an elevator, it was going to be in the back of the building where the vault is. So I guess that was a much more expensive option than what we're talking about right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Would anybody be interested in a $100,000 fix? And then we say the heck with the historical building until we get the big deal library redo, you know? The way things go around here, the big deal library redo was, I think, in 4th or 5th place for capital spending. There was the safety building and a whole bunch of things were in line in front of it.
Mhm.
I'll be long dead by the time we get a 3-floor elevator in there. So
So-
think about it.
So alternative in question is it possible to do a 2-stage elevator, one that would go from the main floor to the 3rd floor, as well as one that would go from the basement to the main floor?
I hadn't thought of that. I will.
And the feasibility of that.
Probably
It seems-
many years of in between.
It seems like getting to the 3rd floor would have to be interior, whereas the other one could be
Yeah.
Mhm.
exterior. So it just seems like it's not that it's less important maybe, but it's a completely different project.
It could be, yeah.
Let me talk a little further with the elevator folks. I'll shop around a little bit and see if I can cook something up. That's an interesting idea. The inside ones are, well, I don't think we want to have one of those things that goes up the stairs, those sit
No,
on and up
No.
the stairs things. But we may be able to get a close the door type, go up the elevator to the 3rd floor from the 2nd floor.
Hmm.
Let me think about that a little bit.
I think we have to consider the like the landmark status of the building. I don't know how that will come into play with something like that, but we would have to research that, I think. And that,
Let me
good
make
conversation starter. Mhm. Okay. We ready to move on to our final topic for tonight? So that email from the land trust about joining them with a flyer. Let me see, someone type something.
main floor to 3rd would be inside, not outside.
Outside. Yeah, that's why it would be in like the vault area I can't picture where else that would be an indoor, an elevator that went to the 3rd floor, Johanna. I think that the only option is like where the bathrooms are in the back. Back there. So I don't.
Well, in the ideal world, we could get a, accessible bathroom out of the project too. I don't know
Yes,
if that's
we do
possible.
need that. Yes.
Well, the 2-floor option lets you, if you're up at the book desk, lets you go down in the elevator and get to the handicapped accessible bathroom on the main floor, or on the
Oh.
3rd floor, on the low
On the
floor.
ground.
Yeah. That's why we'd punch through the lowest floor window so that you go from floor to floor on the elevator. The elevator also has a 750-pound limit where you can, that's a few books. So
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a couple loads.
you get one of those little trucks,
That would be so nice. I'll bet not to have to lug the books.
When they make the delivery, the CW Mars delivery, they have to, haul those crates up the stairs.
There's,
I've always applauded them.
they deserve it.
Yeah.
One more comment is, even if you put in the big front ramp, it only gets you up to one step short of being in the main floor. It's awful hard to get in the main floor through the front.
Mhm.
You mean because of the threshold, how high the threshold is?
Yeah, if you get up to where the ramp where the ramp takes you,
Yep.
you still have to get up about an 8-inch step to get into the building.
Yeah, we would have to put something, we would have to do something about that.
Yeah, so I guess I'm totally down on the ramp.
Okay.
Okay,
I mean,
Very
ideally,
good.
what everyone would want is an elevator. Realistically, can we get an elevator? I guess we can keep exploring and talking about and figuring out how to get money for it. And doing a 2-step elevator, one for now and one in the future that takes us to the 3rd floor. That's a great idea.
Mhm.
and
So, mhm.
I can't convince anybody to go get a beer and a pizza down at this place.
I'm up for it.
I would do it.
If you're driving through Worcester, it's a easy view right off Park Ave there. I think it's called Blue Jean Pizza.
Ugh, sorry. I'm not
We
gonna
also
go to
have-
Blue Jean
we
Pizza,
also have
but I've been
beer.
meeting there. Sorry.
I'm gonna do that. I'll make a little video and see if I can't show it next time.
Okay. All right. So what's the discussion about the land trust? Let's have that. about that.
Can I weigh in on that?
Yes, yes.
I think the goal is oh, sorry, is that getting feedback? Sorry. The goal, the point, the purpose of the flyer is to let people know that these projects are not competing for the money,
Mhm.
that there's, you know, there's different pots of this money, and so they could all be funded. At least that's my understanding, is to make sure that people think if they vote for this land purchase, they're not voting against the library or the housing, the other element.
So how does everyone feel about joining with the land trust in one flyer and or getting involved in that?
I make a motion, we do join with them in this one flyer.
Well, do we want to have a discussion about like what the benefits, or does anyone have any other ideas about? Does everyone like the idea of joining with them?
I'm open to it because I think it spreads awareness. And I think it was positive or will be positive in sharing and being lending to being more transparent to the town about information and how things are used in funds. I was looking for information because I saw a similar or I saw a flyer and I thought it was through the CP, the Fieldstone Farm. Have you guys seen that flyer?
No.
I can send it to you. I have a copy of it.
So you do.
That came out a couple of weeks ago,
Oh.
maybe a week ago. They had a walk around up there last Saturday. I think.
I'll put it in the chat.
Johanna says yes, she has seen
So,
it.
so it's CPA funds, Community Preservation Act. So not CPC, and it's from the Open Space Committee. And I thought it was very useful as well to that was presented in that of informing of where the funds are coming from, and that it's not going to be like a Prop 2.5.
Does
Thank-
everybody understand? It's called the Community Preservation Act. That's where CPA comes from. And then the Community Preservation Committee are those people that qualified the applicants and awarded the money, but the CPP committee participants cannot promote a project. The
Correct.
applicant has to do the promoting, and that's what this is all about. The Open Space Committee is promoting what the heck is it? The open space is
The
doing
Fieldstone
Article
Farm.
16, and we have to speak at the town meeting. I recommend we speak to the articles we have, 18 and 19. I have an edit. I have 2 suggestions on the flyer. The concept of the main floor, and then they have a picture of somebody working on a floor. That's really not what we're doing. So I suggest we change the picture to something. And also, I suggest we cross out the words main floor and just use the word library interior. And I suggest we cross out northeast corner and just use the word library foundation.
I think those are all good suggestions, and I think you had some photos that you have included.
I have some, but they're a little bit, bricks falling out type photos. I don't know if we have a more positive photo.
Maybe just the library, just something recognizable.
I have some photos of that, yes. Everybody should understand that in the main floor rehabilitation, it's dorm windows, safety signage, and children room lighting. The concept of painting and patching and fixing things up a little bit were not acceptable for this funding.
I feel like my connection is going in and out.
Sorry,
So-
I'm muted. Tom, there's a question in the chat. These are changes you are proposing to the wording in the town meeting warrant. No.
No, in the flyer.
I am proposing them in the flyer, but we may have to change them on town floor, on town meeting floor. If the words stay in the article, they may constrain the spending to only the main floor, when in reality, the safety signs for the exits and the emergency lighting and whatnot would also go down into the bottom floor. And we can't make only part of the building safe. So I may have to get up and change that wording. I'm going to talk to the CPC person and see if they care, or if we can just spend it the way we have to spend it, even though the wording is a little funny.
So the warrant is already written?
I understood the warrant to close a long time ago.
Oh,
And, with CPC permission, we can just leave the warrant alone. Or if the CPC says, that's not very good, we'll go to the town floor and change it. Only takes a second.
Mhm.
Okay.
This has been a very clumsy process.
Hmm.
so do we need to vote on the flyer, or can we just? I guess we do have to vote if we're going to send it out, right?
I think we should vote on joining the land trust in transparency. So who wants to make that motion?
I'll make a motion that we participate in an informational flyer regarding sorry, I don't have the words right, the CPC funding for the town meeting.
With the intention of making the edits that Tom had suggested.
Right.
Who seconds?
I second that.
Johanna, are you getting, Johanna's losing connections.
And she had stated that I would say we would vote on the semi-final flyer as well.
Okay,
With the edits.
let's vote. Krista,
Yes.
Morgan,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Connie,
Yes.
Johanna.
She
She said
said
yes.
yes.
And I say yes. Okay. Unanimous. Okay, so I think that's all I had on the agenda for tonight. Is I thought there'd be a ton of scholarships
Yeah.
when I wrote the agenda. So yeah. So anything anyone would like added to the next agenda, which would be the June, early June.
Can
Probably
I,
need to add the race committee,
Okay.
because I got an email from Mark, and I think we're planning to try and do the race in person this year.
Okay. Uh-huh.
It would be September 11th.
Okay. Okay.
So related to the ADA
Mm-hmm.
ridiculously long document,
Mm-hmm.
I put it in a Google Doc. I hope you all could access it, and I guess we could just chip away at it and put in notes. And I finally realized that that thing has nothing to do with libraries, so that's why it's kind of I think hard to answer. I mean, it's for all kinds of facilities. So
Mhm.
anyway, I see it's already on the agenda for future
Yeah, I didn't
items.
put it on for tonight because I figured it would take
I'm
some
going to
time.
make sure about the link.
And I think my edits are updated already, if you want to check for when we do it, but I think they're,
Okay.
Yeah. Was everyone else able to add? I mean, I added mine and Johanna's. Did
Okay.
was everyone else able to add to that Google Doc? Or any problems or?
I need to add mine yet, but I
Okay.
can access the document.
You'll easily add them.
Okay.
Okay. So besides ADA Race Committee, anyone have anything else that they would like to add to the agenda for June 3rd?
I think I'd like to review our accounts.
Okay.
and probably keep an update of the book sale.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll just carry over anything from that's already on there that we need for next time, but anything new or? Okay,
If I'm correct, we're gonna have a meeting in the first week of June. That will be after the town meeting.
I think it's, but what's the date of the meeting?
I think it's June 1st.
Oh, June 1st, so it will be after the town meeting, yeah.
Is there anything we have to think about at the town meeting?
I'm going to be dividing and conquering. I have a meeting that night, June 1st, so John will be in attendance at the town meeting. Tom, you'll be there though, speaking for the library. Is anybody else attending?
I'm planning to attend.
Mhm.
I can plan to attend.
I have, I don't know, should I be the speaker or Josephine?
I nominate Tom to be the speaker.
Thank you, Morgan.
Any seconds?
I second.
All
Well,
in favor?
we could stand up next to you, but it
I
explain
really need to
thing.
be more succinct.
Well, you're much better than I.
I mean, do you really think we need someone to speak for the library at the town meeting? Do you all think that we do?
I think it wouldn't hurt to have clarification of especially the lighting, and for safety features. And I understood extending down, but just making sure that everybody is aware that it's the full scope of the project.
The issue is some people think the library shouldn't spend money on the town offices. The town offices should spend their own money.
I see.
But it's a $7,000 contract.
It's also a safety hazard.
Yeah, you spend $5,000 administering a $7,000 contract.
Yeah.
We really, as a town, we have a hard time getting out of our own way. It's taken me 2 weeks to get a permit from the Board of Health.
I know. It would be really nice if everybody could play nice in the sandbox and also recognize, I could be wrong, but it's my understanding that the building itself is deeded to the library and for use of the library use, and that right now it is very considerate, but the town offices, out of constraints and necessity, are in the basement. But that's not ideal, and that's not how the building was gifted to the town. The building was gifted to the town as a library. And as such, I do feel that we are the caretakers of the building. And although current use right now, but we are the caretakers and bringing it into current and future use, need to take into consideration all safety hazards at this time.
I moved here in 1972 before this Slade building was built. And all the town offices were there.
All the town,
Okay.
all the town offices were in the library building.
Yeah, every
Yeah.
meeting was in the library building.
Yeah.
Town meetings were in the gym of the school, which is now the media center.
Mhm. And it's nice to be able to have meetings in the library and to be able to have the community use the library for whatever reasons. We just need to get that library to a place where it's safe and accessible
by all.
by all, right?
Yeah,
And it is one of those things of playing nice together and also being aware that you can have shared spaces. And I think going back to the flyer of working with other town groups
Mhm.
to distribute information is useful and mutually beneficial.
So, usually there's someone standing at a table with something like that. Are we doing that? Or are we just going to put the flyers down on the table?
You mean outside the meeting?
Yeah.
Yes, outside.
Or inside the meeting, depending. But yeah, sometimes they're manned, sometimes they're not manned in the past.
Okay.
I think the intention, I'm not sure about this, but I think the intention was to make this flyer and put one on every chair.
Oh, put one on every chair. Okay. Mhm.
And they're also making an intensive effort to contact those people that rather consistently go to these town meetings. And that's only about 200 or 250 people.
Yep.
There's a very focused, that's why everybody didn't get the last flyer.
Mhm.
That cut out. I didn't hear it.
That's why they're focusing, they meaning the Open Space Committee, which seems to be a really good group knowing how to get something done. When they approach this town meeting with a flyer, I think they're going to put one on every chair or hand one to everybody coming in.
Yeah.
And they've sent out some mailers that were focused on those people that normally attend the meeting,
Mhm.
which is about 250 out of the total town. The last town meeting I went to, or two town meetings ago, they had trouble getting 50 quorum.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So
So-
Johanna added some things to the chat. Do you guys all see that?
Yeah. I think after her vote, she had said that yes, she'll be at the town meeting. Tom, you are our mouthpiece. We may, and then we need to be prepared to speak up for the library at the town meeting. We are also sacrificing grant monies by having our town offices in the library. So yes, it would be good for all of us to play nice. And we meaning all parties, not just us.
Mhm.
Yes. Great points.
Yeah. So, okay, so we won't see each other again until town meeting. Okay.
Do we want to be a little early to stand at a table or something? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
You think we should stand at a table?
Well, I don't know if it's a table or stand around or, I don't know, vote yes on,
And ask, okay.
18, 19.
14, 16, 18, and 19, you know?
But I think that's the point of the flyer. Is it's just going to be, is it just one vote? Or are we voting on all those things separately?
They're all separate. They have
Yeah.
to be.
Okay,
Each article.
I see. Okay.
There's actually another one that pays for the roof debt, loan debt.
Mhm.
Does everybody have the draft warrant? I thought I sent it.
No. I did put in the chat the link. It's actually on the town website, the link to that brochure. Somebody was asking for that.
I meant the warrant.
The
Oh,
warrant.
I don't,
Yeah.
Well, I'll, if I can dredge it up, the woman that made this flyer, Cynthia Henshaw, I believe. her name. She sent out the warrant to me. The first time I saw it, I asked the TPC for it, and I asked the town for it, but I never got it, but she was able to get it and sent it to me. I'll send it around to everybody.
All right. So,
oh, here it is. It's on, it is on your email. Wait, let's see. It's attached to an email that I guess Tom got and I got because I went to that meeting about the Fieldstone Farm. So I have it here, so I can send it out to you.
okay, thank you.
Sorry about the echo.
Is that about it?
I think that's it. Anyone else?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Okay,
I'll second that.
everyone in favor?
Yes.
Yes.